Hello everyone, this is Dhruv Patel. I welcome you all to the Introduction to PyPrac Part 2. In earlier session, we have discussed about the definition of PyPrac and where do we generally use it. On this particular session, we are going to discuss about the geometry of a PyPrac, what are the different criteria while selecting a PyPrac, and what are the different shapes that are available and widely used in a plot plan. So let's start off. Here we are going to discuss about various types of a PyPrac in a plot plan. Starting off with a I-type PyPrac. Over here, only one side entry and leaving of a pipe is permitted due to certain restriction or having a equipment or a structure on another side of a PyPrac. It is impossible for any pipe to run from this particular direction. So only one side entry will be provided for this kind of a PyPrac. Second one that you can find it is a I-type PyPrac, but it will be having a both side entry of a pipe. Here you can consider this as a battery limit and pipes are flowing from another facilities into a PyPrac, passing through different processes and leaving the battery limit and leaving the PyPrac. Third type is L-type PyPrac. Certain times it's not feasible to provide a simple I-type PyPrac due to arrangement of various structures and equipments. So in this particular arrangement, a pipe are entering in a plot plan and after taking 90-degree turn, it is leaving the battery limit with certain processes. So this is a L-type PyPrac. Fourth is a T-type. Consider this PyPrac as a main PyPrac which is flowing in between the plot plan. However, certain times pipes are also coming from another facilities into a plot plan, going through various processes and meeting at a center in a main PyPrac. So here you can see a T is forming due to PyPrac. Fifth type is a combination of I and T type. This is a main PyPrac, while due to certain equipments and compressor house or any other structure, pipes which are flowing through these equipments needs to go back to the main PyPrac. To take them further, additional racks or interconnecting racks will be provided which take those pipes into a main PyPrac. So here you can see a combination of I and T arrangement. Here you can see a U-type arrangement. Certain times through various locations pipes are entering into a plot plan. So here due to that arrangement a U-type scenario is being created. Now this is an actual site that you can consider where you can find a variety of PyPracs combined in an actual plot plan. In a complex arrangement, you can see a multiple arrangement of a PyPrac and a main PyPrac passing through the plot plan. So these shapes are usually decided based on the space available and optimized use of space and material. So let's move on further. There are few general requirements that one should always keep in mind. How many levels of PyPrac will there be going to? Here it says that avoid 3 or more decks for a piping tier. Next is construction material. Whether the PyPrac will be of steel or concrete needs to be decided. Third is the walkways. Certain times when there is a equipment or a cable trace, a walkway will be provided for a maintenance purpose. So width of such walkway will be varies from 0.6 to 1 meter. Now the next point is in between portals there will be distance of 4 to 6 meters. What will be the height? Certain times access is provided below the PyPrac, so there will be vehicular movement, and to avoid the clashing of a pipe or a structural member, sufficient clearance should be provided from finished ground level to the first tier. Next point is that various bracing patterns will be provided in a PyPrac that we are going to see in a further slides. Connection. It is one of the important point. It can be of bolted or welded. This connection type will be decided when the project is taking place in the initial phases. Then another thing, air fin coolers. As we have already discussed that on top of a PyPrac certain times equipments are also be mounted. So to access those platforms, ladders are provided, platform or walkway will be provided for accessing such equipments. Now let's talk about the geometry of a pipe rack. Now what should be the width, length and height of a pipe rack? Before going through that, let's discuss about the terminology. Bay. What's bay? Bay is that a arrangement in between two columns is considered as one bay. So over here, this is one bay. This is second, third and likewise 4, 5 and 6. So we can consider that along the length this particular pipe rack is consisting of 6 bays, and in transverse direction here 2 bays are there. So let's discuss about the width of pipe rack. We are going with a single bay pipe rack. Criteria will be 6 meter, 8 meter or 10 meter. If we are going with 2 bays, then the width can be extended till 12 meter, 16 meter or 20 meter. However, my previous experience was that we have restricted our width till 6 or 8 meters, and if we have to exceed those, then instead of going for an intermediate column, we generally provide a heavier section for a bottommost girder or beam, I can say, and the same heavier section will be provided for the columns. Now let's talk about the length. Now each portal can be connected with tie beams or longitudinal beams, and we can get required length. However, we should not be providing length of a pipe rack beyond 60 meter. We have to go with an expansion joint in between the racks. So why expansion joint? Due to thermal condition, the steel generally contracts and expands, creating internal stresses which are undesirable in the structure. So to avoid such forces, we have to provide an expansion joint. So that is how we are restricting our length of a pipe rack. Now let's move on to the height of a structure. Now there is no such restriction on what the height should be of any particular pipe rack. But generally, with my experience, I have seen that for a main pipe rack, the height of a pipe rack varies from 25 meter to 30 meter. Now it's not always restricted that the height will always be that much. If we talk about the interconnecting racks or a smaller racks, the height can be restricted to 15 or 20 meter as well. Apart from that, in earlier session, we have seen that even client comes into picture asking to keep some margin or a space required for the future expansion. So generally in each tier we keep 20 to 25% margin or a blank space, so that in a future when clients wants to expand his plant, there will be enough space in a pipe rack to lay those extra pipes which is coming in the pipe rack. So now let's talk about another terminology, that is anchor bay. Here in the picture you can see a longitudinal cross section of a pipe rack. In consideration, we have took this particular cross section in a consideration. Now in the middle of a pipe rack, we have provided a chevron bracing or A-type bracing in a one particular bay. This bay is known as an anchor bay. Why the word anchor? In a ship, you must have heard that when the ship is at the bay, they drop down the anchor so that the ship will not move. In an exact same fashion, wherever the anchor bay is there, the structure provides rigidity, so the all forces will be accumulated in this particular portal, and the loading will be transferred through this brace to ultimately the foundation. Now what are those forces? Let's just assume that on this particular side wind and seismic is acting. Along with that, piping thermal forces, those are the horizontal forces acting in the pipe due to fluid which is passing through that. So those are the horizontal forces passing through the structure, and when they are finding a brace, it flows through bracing to the column and ultimately to the foundation. So this is the main reason we provide the anchor bay. Now whether the anchor bay will be at center only or we can provide at the end as well. That's the reason that we cannot provide bracing at the end base. Reason being that due to thermal expansion or contraction, the structure will not elongate in the ends due to such rigidity provided with a bracing. So it's always better that the bracing will be provided at the center portion. If there is a length criteria as 30 meter, then one single anchor bay is sufficient. However, if we go with 45 or 60 meter length of pipe rack, two anchor bays will be pretty much needed. Now where that anchor bay will be provided, it can be adjacent to each other, or we can skip one bay and provide in the next bay available bracing will be provided. Apart from that, what are the various bracing patterns that can be followed? Here you can see a chevron type. Another arrangement can be V type or inverted chevron. We can go with the X type bracing as well, or we can go with a combination of V type and A type, making a big X. Along with that, we can also provide a K type or a Y type bracing in such scenario. However, we generally go with X type or chevron type in a general pipe rack arrangement. We have already discussed about the utility line and process line, but since that terminology is very much important, so I thought that we should discuss it further. Now, what are the utility lines? Utility lines are those lines which carries the steam. That steam can be of high pressure or a low pressure. Cooling water. Cooling water can be supplied to the heat exchangers or any other equipment. Extinguishing water, that is supplied to the fire hydrants. Fuel oil for pumps, and so on. Those are the utility that we generally require in a plot plan, and these are the carries by this utility lines. Another thing is process lines. Process lines are nothing but a product line which runs from vessel, exchanger, or more often from the pump to the unit limit to storage or header arrangement outside the plant. Third type is the safety lines. These are the relief and flare pipes which fulfills the safety goal. These lines are generally runs outside of pipe rack. On the column, cantilevers will be provided at certain level, and through that these flare lines will pass. Now, how many types of pipe rack are there? That is one of the important things that one should understand. One can be a main pipe rack. As we have already discussed, main pipe racks are generally flowing through center of the plot plan, carrying the process lines and utility lines. This picture shows a main pipe rack arrangement. Second one is secondary pipe racks or interconnecting pipe racks. These structures are not very complex. Those are very simplistic structures with 2 or 3 bays maximum, and utility pipes and process lines are passing through those. Third one is finger rack. Finger racks are generally provided on top of any structure or even on top of main pipe rack. These are the cantilever columns provided along with the cantilevers passing through those stubs. This cantilever supports instrumental cable trays and electrical cable trays. Apart from that, there's a modular pipe rack. Modular pipe rack consists of a new technology. Over here, the pipe rack will be constructed somewhere in the fabrication yard, and then through transportation system, through vessel, barge, or with a modular trailer, these structures will be passed on to the actual site where it will be lifted and placed it on the correct location. Now let's explain various parts of a pipe rack through this particular picture. Here at bottom, you can see in a red color, those are the isolated foundations provided on bottom of a column. The beams which are in a width direction, those are the transverse beams, which are generally moment connected. On the lengthwise, you can find a longitudinal beams. These are mostly shear connected to the column. The first two tiers, or in this particular picture, a first tier is consisting of a process tier. Above that, two tiers are consisting of a utility lines, and on top, the cable trays, including electrical and instrument trays, will be placed. In a red color, you can see columns, and blue, those are the plan bracings. Now in this image, you are not seeing an anchor bay, but let's just assume that there are bracings, a chevron bracing provided at this particular base on both the side. The loading on these particular columns will be quite heavy. So in actual condition, this foundation will be quite heavier than the rest of the footings. Another arrangement can be provided is that both the columns footing will be combined together and a combined raft will be provided. so that the heavier load can be easily passed on to the foundation and to the soil. In next session, we are going to discuss about the codal provision and what are the various loads that we generally consider in a pipe rack design.